Hello everybody, welcome back. We keep talking lately about the Alpha 3.0 update, its importance for Star Citizen and how it will help transform the game and affect the success of this very ambitious project. But another integral part of Star Citizen and equally important for its success is Squadron 42. So today I would like to talk a bit about Squadron 42 for the first time. I would like to discuss with you about Squadron 42, about the problems that have been plaguing it until today, and obviously if we are going to see Squadron 42 this year, if we are going to see anything from Squadron 42 this year, and in general when we might get Squadron 42. But what exactly is Squadron 42? If you are new to Star Citizen, if you have just started following the development of this ambitious project, you will have a general idea of what Star Citizen is and what it's trying to offer, but you might not have heard that Star Citizen in reality consists of two games. The first one is the Persistent Universe, the multiplayer part of Star Citizen that is getting a major update at the end of this August. And the other one is Squadron 42, the single-player, story-based campaign of Star Citizen that has been described as a spiritual successor to Wing Commander. Squadron 42 is set in the vast Star Citizen universe and is sharing the same game lore and game development background with the Persistent Universe. It will follow the adventures of the player as he enlists in the United Empire of Earth Navy and fighting the Vandal threat. It will be concluded in 3 episodes, 3 standalone titles, so it should be considered as a trilogy. From the info we have right now about the first episode, the first game of the Squadron 42 trilogy, it will consist of 28 chapters equivalent to 60 plus missions, and it will have a cast of actors that will make any movie producer jealous. Another interesting fact is that the game is borrowing its name from an elite unit inside the lore of Star Citizen, the Squadron 42 unit, that has participated in many battles of humanity, with the most notable one, the Battle of Centauri, in 2610 against the Tevarin in the Second Human-Tevarin War. The game will not be set in the past, but in the present of the Star Citizen universe timeline, and right after the Vandal attack on Vega 2 in 2945. Squadron 42 was originally announced during the Kickstarter campaign back in 2012 with a 2014 release date. The game was delayed back then, and since then, Squadron 42 has been delayed a couple more times. The latest delay happened last year at CitizenCon 2016, when Chris Roberts and the developers decided to not show the demo of Squadron 42 that have been working for quite a while because of certain problems with the AI and the animation. And this was something that greatly upset the backers back at that time, but with an official explanation from CIG and Chris Roberts himself on a video released after the CitizenCon of 2016 called The Road to CitizenCon, it was made apparent that delaying the presentation of that demo at that time was the right call. Right now, Squadron 42 is scheduled for a 2017 release date, something that I will not call impossible to happen, but very difficult. We're going to discuss about this a bit later, but before we do it, I would like to take a good look at the delays, the previous delays of Squadron 42, and the situations that have affected the completion of this project, because just saying that Squadron 42 was delayed 3, 4 or more times, without taking into account all the various reasons, all the various situations that have affected this project, will be simply irresponsible. So let's go back at the beginning at the Kickstarter campaign and Squadron 42 with a release date of 2014. The success of that Kickstarter campaign, the phenomenal success of that campaign, was something that not even Chris Roberts himself and the other developers of Star Citizen back at the time could have ever dreamed. This obviously had an impact on the development of Star Citizen as a whole and Squadron 42 as well. Suddenly, the developers had a lot more money, a lot more resources on their hand in order to follow other roads, in order to pursue different ways to complete their project. The success of the crowdfunding process that continues until today, with CIG having accumulated more than $150 million to complete Star Citizen, the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42, had obviously an impact on the decision to delay Squadron 42 back at the time. CIG had enough resources to develop some amazing features and technologies that will make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 much better from what they have thought before. Something that we are witnessing today every week with the latest news and the latest new features that the developers are sharing with us and showing us how unique and beautiful the world of Star Citizen and Squadron 42 is going to be. The tools and the technology of CIG have evolved so much now that they can create breathtaking environments and noise-inspiring features. And to be totally honest, if Squadron 42 had released back at 2014, it would have been a much inferior product to what CIG can build now. The latest delay that happened at CitizenCon of 2016, I believe, was the hardest for not only the backers but the developers as well. And this is because they have been working so hard on that demo, they are working so hard on completing Squadron 42, and they wanted to show it was. But from their explanation, it was made apparent that the AI and animation problems were a bit too much to show something. Could they have shown a small working part of that presentation, of that demo? Probably yes, but it will not have been representative of the quality of Squadron 42 that Chris Roberts and the developers want to create. Here we have to mention the Moral Tour, a demo of Squadron 42 that was shown to the backers back at CitizenCon of 2015 and had some problems. CIG has been criticized for the quality of that demo, and this is definitely something that has made them a lot more hesitant to show something if they don't feel confident that it will be 100% correct, if they don't feel confident about its quality status. The good news are that since that CitizenCon of 2016, we keep watching improvements on the technology that CIG is using to build Star Citizen and Squadron 42. We keep watching improvements on the AI, the animation, and every other aspect of the game. To give some examples, just recently we have seen support for AI ships to land, take off, or even quantum travel, something that I think will be integral for Squadron 42, but also the evolution of the body AI, which in reality is a companion AI system that will give to the player the ability to control the various NPC, the various AI that will be following him. Also, the subsumption AI is getting better and better with every new update we are getting, with every new feature we are seeing, so we can very clearly say that Squadron 42 in the end will be an amazing project, will be an amazing game with smart AI and with the highest possible quality. And it is not only improvements on the AI and the animation, but also improvements on the motion capture technology that will have now better quality and will be able to make the story more believable, to convey the feelings of the actors much better, and make the whole Squadron 42 game a lot more realistic. So are we going to see Squadron 42 this year? Is it going to be released in 2017? GameStar on their latest article speculate that Squadron 42 might utilize the planetary tech of Star Citizen. I don't know if that means that the first episode will have planets and missions on these planets, but this is definitely something that will happen on one of the other two titles, the upcoming titles. If CIG wants to include the planetary tech on the first title as well, then I don't think a 2017 release date is possible unless they have already been working on it, which they have, but we really don't know to what kind of degree the Squadron 42 game is finished. We have been kept in the dark for quite a long time for Squadron 42. Yes, we keep seeing some scenes, we keep hearing about improvements on the development of Squadron 42, but we don't really know where exactly the production of that game is. And it has been way too long since the last time we have seen something complete, a demo, and this is exactly what creates anxiety to the backers. I personally don't think we are going to see Squadron 42, something from Squadron 42 in this year's Gamescom at the end of the August, and this is because Alpha 3.0 is that important for Star Citizen. Everybody now is talking about the planetary tech of Star Citizen and can't wait to perform his first planetary landing and walk on these planets. So it will not be very productive for CIG to divide resources in order to create two different presentations for Gamescom. It will be much better for CIG to focus on the Alpha 3.0 update and show us the planetary tech of Star Citizen. There might be a mention for Squadron 42, there might be a sneak peek for Squadron 42, but what I'm expecting to happen is Chris Roberts to announce that CitizenCon will be dedicated to Squadron 42. I am going to quote GameStar and agree that Squadron 42 is Chris Roberts' baby, a project that has the potential to become the best sci-fi game, the best space game ever, and even replace titles like Mass Effect as the go-to sci-fi game. Squadron 42 deserves a celebration, Squadron 42 deserves an event, an entire event dedicated to it, and this is why I believe CitizenCon of 2017 will be dedicated to Squadron 42. And finally, at this event, we will know the status of Squadron 42 and whether or not a 2017 release is possible or not. I strongly believe that CIG, with the tools and the technology they have today, but also with our support, can create an amazing product and can give us a one-of-a-kind sci-fi trilogy. I would love to hear what you think about Squadron 42, if you think we are going to see Squadron 42 this year, and if you agree with my analysis, with my opinions on this very important matter for the Star Citizen community. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.